and welcome. I just recently found a pretty nice way to explain to people my side of, uh, I'd say it's a pretty big popular question. Um, so I'd say the biggest answer to the whole universe, it's kind of a multi part answer, and it's always going to be relative to everybody's own belief. So this is the way I see it. I'm sure a lot of people will see it like I do. So the whole big explanation behind, like, why do we even exist, or why is there even a universe? The whole answer is it doesn't matter why. Okay? To even open up the whole question of saying why do we exist, it's completely doesn't really matter very much. All right, it only matters to the individual, to whatever they want to really believe. Okay, so it doesn't matter why we exist, it's just the way it is. Okay, and that kind of goes all around in a lot of things. Like, when somebody chooses to do something, it doesn't matter why somebody chooses to do something. It's just what they chose to do, and it's just the way it is. It's the same thing as, like if somebody asks why is the grass green, it doesn't really matter why the grass is green. So any other way you want to look at it isn't very important. Doesn't really matter very much. Um, so it's always going to be relative to the individual. So for me, the way I would look at it is like, um, I just look at it like, what, like, you, there's only really one way you can look at it. It's like, you only got to look, you can only look at it is, what is the best way to look at it? What would be the best way that it could be, right? That's the only way anybody could really try to imagine things to be. So the way I look at it is like, oh, the best way things could be is if there's a reason, if there's a God, if there's a savior that can make things work and redeem the whole universe and correct all ways. And that's really the only thing I could really take to the grave that could ever really matter to me. You know, it's like one of those questions. It's like, if you could take one thing to the grave, what is it that you're going to take to the grave? And it's like, there's one thing that I'm going to take to the grave that, you know, it's like you might as well make it the best idea and belief that you could come up with. So, um, it's a matter of, for me, I just believe that the best way things could get is if there is a God, and I believe in a God, and I believe He's out there, and that's just the way I am. That's how some people are, and I truly believe that, you know, His Son was sent to redeem us because He was able to put the evidence against the enemy, because, you know, all things are possible. And I just truly believe that you got to look at it for the best way things can be. And it just seems like the best way I can imagine things to be is if we're going to get ourselves out of a situation that was brought onto us for no reason. That's what people got to realize. It doesn't matter why we got into the problem we got into. It's just we're in the problem we're in because we're in the problem we're in. So the best thing we can hope for is that we get the hell out of the problem that we're in. So now the true question really boils down to, is there a problem or not? So it all boils down to, is there a purpose to exist or is there not a purpose to exist? So that boils down for me. It's better to believe that there is a purpose to exist because it's just more beneficial and it's just more productive. It's just more, it's something to take to the grave. It's like I don't want to take something to the grave that just if you're going to take something to the grave, you need to take the most and believe in the most. It's like why short yourself in if you guys can believe anything, right?